Welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School Spartan Tip-Off Classic, night number 3, game number 2. It's the broadcast. It's the West Hancock Titans and the Bushnell-Prairie City Spartans. Both teams come in 1-0. We are happy to have Coach Jeremy Anderson on the headset with us now from the Macomb High Bombers, and everybody can pump the brakes. It's not gloom and doom for the Bombers after your game last night. You looked a little better tonight.
Well, I think overreactions are a tendency that happen nowadays on anything, right? Something that we talked about today when we had our little shoot around before we got on the bus is we don't overreact to the results of the very first game, but there were things that we needed to get fixed. And I think that some of those things took a step in the right direction of getting fixed tonight. I'm not going to say that they're cured, but some of them definitely took a step in the right direction.
The intensity level was better tonight.
In my opinion, that all comes from expectations. What do you expect out of your opponent? What do you expect out of yourself? Absolutely no disrespect for anyone. I think Coach Dahl's doing a really, really good job, and the results of the game last night showed that. Our children going into that game last night did not expect that to happen. And so their behaviors, their performance met the level of their expectations. This game tonight, these boys been talking about playing Illini Bluffs again since they played them last year. And so guess what? Their expectations were high, and their performance, their behaviors met those expectations.
Coach Vass talked yesterday, or Monday when I talked to him, that he knew his team was still young. I mean, they've only got one senior. They're juniors, and they're playing some sophomores, and they're still relatively young in the whole scheme of things. I think that if anything, the thing you guys showed tonight was that they can be manhandled a little bit.
Well, the ball pressure is what's going to have a tendency to do that. It's no different than what West Hancock did to us. And I had senior guards out there.
Right.
But if you can get up and really pressure the ball, it takes you out of what you want to do. And that's what we were able to do tonight, and that's what West Hancock did to us last night. You would hope that experience helps with that, but sometimes it doesn't.
I felt like the physicality underneath on Alvey was a pretty big part of it too. Ian Case and Hobson and Jack Duncan, for that matter, were really like they never let Alvey be alone. They never let him get comfortable. They were on him, pushing him, touching him all night long.
The game plan was to try to push him off away from the block. Every high school post player in the world is not nearly as good from 2 steps off the block as they are on the block. And then we're going to bring help whenever we can. And I thought our guys did a really good job of executing that game plan. Now, fortunate for us, we had 8 fouls that we could use because I think both Ian and Big Jake ended up with 4 apiece.
They did.
And hopefully down the road we might have 5 more sitting over on the bench that could come in, but that's a story for a different time.
The other thing tonight that you didn't have last night, Connor Watson scored 20.
Right.
And obviously that helps, but kind of going back to our conversation last night, if Watson doesn't have 20 and he only has 10, there's nobody else is over 10.
Right. I think we definitely lean on him a lot, and that's something that hopefully as we go through the season we'll do a better job of running our offense to where the go-to guy is the guy that's open, right, and not necessarily having to lean on Connor so much. But I was really proud of him tonight, the way he bounced back. And you can't, I don't think that you can not mention the effect that Jack Duncan had on the team.
That was my next thing. I was going to say that it just from the jump, it felt different for you guys, and I felt like Duncan was a big part of that.
Absolutely. Think about the kid that's the starting quarterback. He's their number 1 baseball pitcher. Basketball might not be his favorite thing or his best thing, but he's one of the kids that they've always looked to since they were in 5th, 6th grade. Right.
The leadership.
So now he's back. He's going to bring energy. We're going to be okay.
Well, I think that any time the officials let this game get –
they did.
Not necessarily rough, but it was really physical.
Yeah.
There was a lot of physicality, and I think looking at Illini Bluffs, if you can get them into a game like that, that's probably where they're going to struggle more often than not.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that if I just was trying to evaluate their team, the one weakness you see on is they don't have a point guard. They don't have a true point guard that can get them into their stuff whenever. There was a couple times where a kid would get the ball and he's like, I'm not taking it, and he's passing it to somebody else. And that's a bad sign.
Yeah, that's where you're lucky, right?
Right,
you've got one or two of those guys that are not afraid to do that.
And hopefully, yeah, we've got one on the make too that's going to be able to come in and do that. But I'm just like we said in the locker room, as disappointed as we were in ourselves when we left here last night, we're just as proud of ourselves tonight because it was a really good bounce back for us.
Braden Holdhouse didn't do as much tonight, I didn't feel like, but he still gave you a lot of good minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
As a sophomore, Drew Watson came in and gave you some good minutes in the first half. And I think the nice thing for you guys, you fell down early. It was 4-0, and then you went on that 9-0 run to end the quarter with, and then you put some subs in, and nothing ever seemed to drop off. No matter what combination you had on the floor, the intensity was there the whole time.
Yeah, and I think that comes back to their expectations. I mean, they were into it tonight. And
so your next question is how do you make that happen every night, right?
Well, if I could do that, like Coach Casper always used to say, if he could fix that in the world, he wouldn't have to teach, he wouldn't have to coach anymore. He could retire, he could write a book, go around giving talks.
You'd be a millionaire right now, wouldn't you?
Because it happens to every team, regardless of sport, regardless of level. And if you could fix that with young athletes, you could be a millionaire.
We've got the starting lineups coming here. Jake Croxton with the microphone on the far side. Do you want to stick around? You want to take off?
I'm going to sign off.
Ladies and gentlemen,
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, we'll talk to you later.
In the 2022 Spartan Tip-Off Classic, this is game number 6 between the West Hancock Titans and your Bushnell-Prairie City Spartans. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to ask that you please rise as we honor America. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Miss Keely Lieb. She will perform for you tonight's national anthem. And now let's meet your Game 6 starting lineups. At one guard for West Hancock, a 5'10 junior, number 10, Brian Gerhardt. At guard for Bushnell-Prairie City, a 6'3 senior, number 2, Dalton Yocum. At guard for the Titans, a 6'1 junior, number 20, Gage Scott. At guard for Bushnell-Prairie City, a 5'10 senior, number 3, Ezra Mason. At one forward for West Hancock, a 6'1 sophomore, number 34, Louis Siegfried. At a third guard for the Spartans, a 5'10 senior, number 5, Jalen Conley. At the other forward for the Titans, a 6'3 senior, number 30, Alec Himes. At forward for BPC, a 6' senior, number 10, Carter Alleman. And in the middle for the Titans, a 6'2 senior, number 42, Luke Jacko. And at forward for Bushnell-Prairie City, a 6'1 senior, number 40, Braden Barker. Jeff Dahl heads up the Titan bench, assisted by Jamie Cousins and Paxton Harmon. Tyler Snyder heads up the Spartan bench, assisted by Steve Martin. Tonight's officials are Steve King, Billy Hickox, and John Deering.
And that'll do the starting lineups for tonight's final game. We'll have 3 games on Friday, 6 games on Saturday here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. This has been the pregame show, brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. As Jake Croxton's ready to go here, and we are as well, and the Spartans will win the tip. The pregame show brought to you by JoJo's Gaming Parlor. They offer the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Check. And a 3 on the way by Conley's no good. Watch all the TSSR Game Time live broadcasts. Luke Jacko from the baseline is short. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell. Conley steps on the sideline. Possession to West Hancock as we're just underway. First quarter action here. West Hancock Titans and BPC Spartans. Down low to Jacko. He's going into the lane. Out to Siegfried. Now to Gerhardt. Gerhardt goes right side on the dribble. Gives it to Scott. Gage Scott for 3. It's good. Traveling against the pressure for BPC is 7:03 remaining in the first quarter. The Titans lead the Spartans as Gerhardt slips to the ground, loses the ball a second time, and finally loses it out of bounds. Possession to the Spartans. It'll be Conley on the dribble. Jacko comes up with the basketball for the Titans. 3 on the way, off no good by Scott that time. Rebound to Gerhardt. And he's going to bring it all the way back out front and reset the offense for the Titans. Jacko loses the ball, picked up by Dalton Yoakum, and it goes back the other way. Conley with it for BPC. He goes all the way to the rack. Layup off no good. Jacko with the rebound. Outlets it to Gerhardt. Gerhardt to the rack, and it's good. Gerhardt has his first 2. 5-0 Titans. Alleman with the basket for BPC as Carter Alleman gets the first 2 of the night for the Spartans. And a 3 on the way by Gage Scott. His second 3 of the night. And it's 8-2. And we've got Coach Vass on the show now. We'll get him under the headset as we talk about this one. 8-2 is the score here in the first quarter. 5:27 to go. The basket is, I think it's on the floor. Let's wait and see here what they do. No, the basket is good for Conley. Gerhardt picks up the foul. I put that on the wrong side. Gerhardt picked up the foul. First for the Titans. Conley can't make the free throw. Barker had the rebound and loses it out of bounds. 8-4 is the score. Coach Vass with us. And Coach, we talked about your team was a little young. The game was extremely physical.
Extremely is an understatement.
And I think if maybe there's one weakness of your team, that might be it. If they can, and Alec Himes is going to put up the 2. If somebody can get in a group of officials that will let them play that physical, your team might struggle with that.
Oh, we're going to. I mean, we're 15, 16-year-olds. They outweigh us by probably 30 pounds per player in their football school. We're not. So they're used to the physicality. We're not. But we've got to learn. That's what people are going to do to us. There's no doubt about it, if they can. And, again, it all comes down to the officiating crew.
Ezra Mason travels. Said he didn't. He did move the foot a little bit there.
The other night you asked me, we were talking about the nature of the game, and I said I'm old school. I liked it when they called fouls, and I wasn't a fan of letting them play. But that seems to have trickled down from the NBA and college to high school now, and it's not pretty. It's not really pretty basketball, that's for sure. Becomes the winner of the strongest, not the winner of the most skilled. And basketball is a dance. It's not brute force like wrestling and football.
Yeah, and I said from the very beginning, if they didn't call that game tighter, you guys were going to have problems. But I guess Macomb responded well, right? I mean, from last night to tonight, they did the things they needed to do as the basket's good for Nolan Hurt.
I talked with Jeremy after the game, and and that's what we said. They got embarrassed last night. They were going to come in and play better. You could tell from the reaction of their crowd and their bench. They were up for our game. I mean, they knew who they had to beat to win this tournament or have a chance to win this tournament. And because I told the guys, you don't see reactions from crowds and benches like that second game of the year. That's kind of a response like a regional or a sectional. So they were taking you serious. We just need to regroup now and win out and see if we can go for the tie.
Caden Palm with the shot there, off no good. Osmond Perelku in the game also for BPC. Gerhardt, Scott, Hurt's going to drive, dumps it out, corner to Grodhouse for three. Grodhouse hits the tray. That's the third three of the first quarter, and it's 15-4. Titans lead the Spartans. Joking with it. I think that this, even with the physicality, the fact that they held Alvey to two baskets and then some free throws. I think it was 7 points.
Key words there, they held him to it.
Yeah, they did. And that's one of the things that, and if foul's going to be called on Himes, as Huffman was going to the basket. That'll be the first on Himes, second on the Titans. I'm guessing, unfortunately for Hank Alvey, that's probably, he's going to see a lot of that this year. Now, maybe not to that extent because they're letting him play that much, but it's going to be physical against him whenever he tries to get in the post.
What? And I'm not against all that physicality, but when you got arm bars and you got knees up under a guy's groin and hip, and I tried to get him to understand if he turn around and face the guy, they can't guard you like that when you're facing. It's obvious. When you got your back to him and you're low, they don't realize how strong both you guys are, and you're pushing.
Gerhardt shots off, no good, and they're going to call Grodhouse for the push, I believe, as he knocked down Perelku. Grodhouse is going to pick up his first, team's third.
I'm a Hancock County boy, born and raised, lived my whole life there until a few years ago. Coached it at Hamilton, and this West Hancock team, they're a typical Hancock County team, aren't they? They can step up, they can shoot the basketball.
They can shoot, and they're not afraid to get physical either. Oh. Dalton Huffman down low.
But it's just a different kind. It's not a holding physical. It's a man up,
in your
wall
face.
Chest, in your face, using your hips, using your body, not your arms and legs, It's not a holding thing. I mean, right there, you're seeing some good, solid defense. That's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it's taught. But
now,
you can't just do the other until it gets called.
Hurt's right elbow shot is short. Palm gets it on the save by Grodhouse. Now, Perelku's going to drive, and man, how was that not a charge? Yeah, they're going to call it. That was late, but that was you had to see that one coming.
And it was a trail official. When that happened in our game, they said, well, that's not my call. Again, something that's changed over the years, too.
And a timeout on the floor, charge to BPC. It is, I'm not sure. We're going to stay here anyway, so I guess it really doesn't matter if it's a full or 30. But it does matter if I put it on the right side. So you guys had balanced scoring last night, balanced scoring again tonight,
we had balance again tonight.
But you didn't get enough of it.
Right. No, that's what I told him going into the fourth quarter. I said, you've given up 33 points, which is not terrible, but you've only scored 22. You got to be stronger with the basketball. We're going to have to face up and hit some shots. Don't try and just muscle down over people because you're going to lose the battle of the muscle part, especially when the game is being allowed to be physical. That's just not our game. That's not how we play. None of my teams really have played like that. The AC teams, even my Hamilton teams where they did play football, and I had Meister and those guys, we didn't play that muscle game. I mentioned that to you the other day when we were down at Pittsfield and had that deal. So, you know, I'm not going to change the way I teach my kids. It's worked for hundreds and hundreds of successful games. So we're not going to change that. But when you have this kind of situation in a game, you've got to make some adjustments. And we didn't make the adjustments. And that's where our youth showed a little bit, I think.
I actually said at one point during the game, I felt like it was missed opportunities was the thing that kind of came to my mind. You guys had the ball numerous times down 11 or down 10 and just couldn't get it to single digits, and you missed a bunch of or not a bunch, but you missed 4 or 5 free throws. And there's a charge back the other way. Groothouse is going to pick up a second.
We talked about that very thing. You get it down to 9, you got the ball, you got a chance to score, make it 7. Now if you'd have made your free throws, it wouldn't be 7, it would be 4 or 5. Suddenly, that's a totally different complexion for the Macomb, their situation, if it's a 5 or 6 point game than being 11 or 13.
You kind of allow them to keep their confidence that way, right?
Exactly. Well, you got to make people nervous, and they're high school kids. They're still going to break down if, you see it all the time. Teams come back, the other team falls apart.
There's another foul underneath. This one might be on Gage Scott or Hurt. Nolan Hurt gets the foul.
And, for those that might think, well, there's sour grapes here, all you got to do is watch your rebroadcast of the last game and this one, and it's totally different in terms of the physicality.
Dalton Huffman gets the bucket. Timeout charge to West Hancock, a 30-second timeout. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I mean, I actually said at the beginning of the game, it really started getting, I felt kind of chippy, and I said, if these officials don't take control of it, it might get ugly. Well, the kids handled it themselves. They didn't allow it to get ugly, but the officials did not take control of it.
We preach it to our guys, to stay under control, keep control, and I was proud of them. They did. They were frustrated when they came to the bench, and Macomb kids did too, for the most part. They, like I said, their bench was really into it. The guys on the floor, they handled it pretty well. And I told them it's something you just got to get through, and you got to regroup and come back. It's going to happen in basketball. It's going to happen in life where things don't always go your way, and you got to learn to overcome it. And if you can't overcome it, then you got to regroup and do better next time.
Luke Jacko down low, has the shot go over the rim, didn't connect with anything. Perelku is going to bring it back, loses it, gathers it back up on the dribble now. He's going to be fouled by Gerhardt. And Gerhardt, I understand that that's a call that you're bailing him out essentially, and you don't want that call, but he most definitely hit him.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
You wonder about that kind of stuff. 3 shots coming for Osmond Perelku because we're still in the first quarter, 1:40 remaining. First one's off, no good, and this quarter seems to be taking quite some time.
Well, there's been whistles and stoppage, and that's what happens.
Your guys' first half went really fast, the first quarter especially.
No whistles, no stoppages.
Yeah, I know. I actually said, I was like, holy smokes, that first quarter went fast.
Yeah.
Second free throw good for Perelku. What do you talk about going, you got Thursday off, obviously. You come back Friday, your team comes back, and third one's good as well. What do you talk about, in a shoot-around or whatever you might get to do? Is a 3 by Gerhardt is good.
Well, one thing we're going to be talking about since we're playing West Hancock is covering the 3 ball because obviously so far in this tournament they're shooting it pretty well. As I alluded to, again, I'm a Dallas City boy, a Hancock County player and coach, and it just, there's just some areas of the state where kids can really shoot the basketball, and over along the river is one of those places.
Siegfried blocked the shot of Conley out of bounds. I want to say that Dallas City played in this tournament back in the day, and I don't know if you were in – I think that would have been when you were at Hamilton maybe, but Dallas City played in this tournament. I want to say they won it twice on free throw percentage.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Again,
back towards the end of the days of Dallas City High School.
Right. Yeah, we didn't play here when I was a kid, but probably some of those last few teams might have, yes.
And I know they played here, and it was – I covered it. That's in the beginning days of my journalism career, and it was those Hancock County teams winning the tournament thanks to – I think they tied with the Zippers one year, and they won it because of free throw percentage is one of the things that step
could be.
Because Monmouth Zippers played here, which is a school that's not here anymore. You start talking about all these schools that used to be here, and there's a pass knocked off of Himes' hands. Conley's going to go back. He'll pull up, take the three. I was going to say ill-advised, but when it goes in, I guess it's good, right?
Well, Dallas City's still here. They're just part of Illini West now, because La Harpe, Dallas City, Carthage, of course, is Illini West. And, of course, Warsaw, Hamilton, Nauvoo, the West Hancock. When I was a kid and there were still all these different schools in Hancock County, now there's three. Southeastern still kept it together down in the southeast part of the county. But
Himes gets called for travel.
Still good basketball over there, that's for sure.
Hancock County tournament. We'll have a lot of those games. They're going to be played. Some of them played at Southeastern this year, so we'll cover all those games on TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. And that's about the only county in the area. It still has a county tournament, too.
Yep, that's true. Well, again, there's a lot of pride there. And, the schoolmasters want to keep it going, and they've done what they've had to bring other teams in so they can.
Dalton Huffman gets the bucket to fall. And it's a three-point game. And a travel by Gage Scott, and the Spartans have a chance to tie it. Well, this is like deja vu, except it's into the first quarter, not the second quarter, right?
Exactly.
Dalton Strode checking in for the first time this season. He's got to tuck his jersey in his shorts. That's I guess I kind of understand that rule, but I can't believe we take time out of a game to pause the game to tuck in a jersey.
That and the blood on the uniform rule. The rule says it has to be excessive enough to get on somebody else.
Caden Palm steps out of bounds before the shot. He had his heel on the line, 3.1 seconds remaining. Not a good spot for a foul here if you're BPC. Luke Jacko puts up the shot. It's off, no good. And that's how quarter number one ends, 18-15. The Spartans trail the Titans. And Coach, as we look back at this game, is this a kind of a game where you can learn something from it with your kids, but you just want to forget it and move on to, and hopefully you don't have to face that kind of letting physicality go?
Well, as a coach, you never forget it. We take them way personal, more personal than the kids do probably. And we want to learn from it, and we will learn from it. As far as the physicality, again, we've just got to learn to deal with that because somewhere somebody is watching that wants to beat us, and that they're putting it in their playbook. Listen, if we can, we're going to take until we get a strike in baseball or whatever. Or we're going to steal till we get somebody thrown out or whatever it is. It's the same thing.
We're going to hold and push and smack
until it gets called. And if you happen to get the right officials, it works for you. If you get the wrong ones, it doesn't. But you got everything gained, nothing to lose by trying it. And, again, that's not me. But I started this journey over 35 years ago. I'm still a person. I want to come out and I want to beat you with, good defense and good offense and outsmarting you and outquicking you and stuff. I've never been one that taught junk defenses or any of that kind of stuff. So it's harder for me to take probably than it is for the kids.
And the Titans, to start the second quarter here, a little slow to come out, and the officials were tired of waiting. The Titans have 6 team fouls already. Spartans have just 3. Spartans will be in the bonus. And Perelku is going to get called for the foul, I think, as we got bodies flopping all over the place. Perelku is going to pick up his second foul, team's 4th. This is, and the thing is about early season basketball, it can get this way, right? It can be physical, and you mentioned that the officials need to, they have to practice a little bit too. And
I said that the other night.
And all that kind of stuff.
It's a journey and a learning process for all of us.
And Devin Yoakum is going to get called for the foul. Team 5, his first. It's just too bad that you have to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's growing pains are different, I suppose.
Right. But it's one of those things we've got to learn, and we've got to learn from it. And we can. We will. Our kids are smart kids. They're they're competitors, and they'll bounce back.
Himes,
and again,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, you just got to keep it all in perspective, too. We got one loss. You win the rest of the way out. BPC beat Macomb. Macomb beat us. We beat BPC and win the rest of the way out. Take our chances after that. Somebody maybe gets knocked off.
Yep. Yoakum missed the shot there. Himes missed one as well. Palm had a rebound last time down the floor. We meet the 7-minute mark here of quarter number 2, a 3 on the way by Gerhardt. Does it seem like shooting has not been as good tonight? There's a travel by Siegfried. I mean, you guys didn't shoot extremely well. Of course, you were being pretty physicaled up, but Macomb didn't shoot well. It seems like everything tonight is short.
Yeah, well, first
for
of all,
everybody so far.
First of all, again, this is what I was talking about, and maybe it's my Hancock County pride, but you know, this West Hancock team shoots the ball very well. We talked about the Dallas City teams that always shot well, my Hamilton teams. Some schools, nowadays, they're just kids. I don't think there's all the pure shooters that we used to have in the game, because the game's more dribble drive and kicks and again, the physicality that's allowed to go. There's not a lot of good shooters around anymore, I don't think. So credit to Jeff Dahl that his kids still shoot the ball pretty well.
Himes with it. Luke Jacko had the rebound last time down. Jacko had 16, including a couple threes, so the big boy can shoot a little, and then Gage Scott gets called for another travel. And that goes back to the shooters of Hancock County, right?
I think so. I mean, really, you know, we had the Dallas City gym and the Hamilton gym and the other gyms over here that were like this, and that could be an advantage. I mean, I don't know if they practice at Warsaw or Hamilton, but if they practice at Hamilton, it's identical gym. That can help your shooting a little bit.
Yeah.
Although this is BPC's home gym too, but
how much does the gym? Everybody talks about this gym and how it is different. How much does that affect the shot? I'm not good enough for it to affect me, I don't think.
I think it does. The background's different. When I coached in Iowa, we used to play at Mount Pleasant, Iowa a lot because they hosted sub-states and district final, which is like sectional final over here. Totally different background in that gym. And Keokuk used to be that way. We played over in Iowa. You know, the Dallas City, Hamilton, Lewiston gyms that are like this, the basement gyms. It does make a bit of a difference, I think.
Himes, a nice little jab step, goes to the rack, misses it. How much of an advantage do you think it is for BPC to play in this gym on a regular for all their home games?
Yeah, you come out here and you shoot before school and after school and lunchtime and everything else. You always want to play at home. I mean, I don't care if that's baseball, football, basketball. You always want to play at home, and so it's a bit of an advantage. Now, once the game gets going and things get rolling, then maybe it doesn't make as much difference, but it certainly gives you a better start.
Siegfried from Himes. Hurt had the steal. That's the first points of the quarter for either team, and we're at the 5:13 mark when it was scored. The offense that was so good in the early stages of the first quarter is kind of slowed down a little bit for both teams.
I think this is a well-played game right now. I mean, it's not a lot of fouls. Kids are playing hard, making good decisions.
Dalton Huffman replacing Dalton Strode. Yeah, and this is we haven't had a whole lot of close games. It'll be interesting to see if this one stays close throughout.
Right. And again, that's another thing that I've noticed in my career. Used to be a lot of close games all the time. Now there's just a lot more blowouts than there used to be.
Yoakum, Barker tries to get it to a cutting. Those passes through the lane are tough, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and especially if you don't get a right angle and you don't put it right in their numbers.
Siegfried 3 left wing. Off, no good. Jacko with the rebound. Has it knocked away. Huffman comes up with the outlets to Conley. Conley goes to the basket. His shot's off, no good. Gage Scott with the rebound. And he's going to get tied up, a jump ball. And he was throwing some elbows there. Braden Barker, I think, was going to turn around and walk away till he caught an elbow to the chops, and then he wasn't so quick to walk away after that. 4:29 to go, and the physicality may be returning a little bit, but it seems like a little tighter called game here.
I would say this group of officials, I know all these guys. They're Jacksonville area. When I was an AD, if I wanted a well-called game, I got out of the Jacksonville area. If I wanted it to be a little more physical, I went Quincy or Springfield area. If you really wanted it physical, you got officials from Peoria. And there is a difference because there's a difference in their organizations. And and what they train on and what they work with. And these guys have been around a long time. And,
one in bonus here for Ezra Mason. Yeah, and it's kind of funny how, the bigger schools have kind of adopted the let them play mentality, I think, faster than the smaller schools, didn't they?
Well, you got a lot more kids that can play that way, and so you can counter it. Small schools, you might have a big hoss that can do it, and the other schools just don't.
First point of the second quarter for the Spartans comes from the free throw line, the hand of Ezra Mason. And the last bucket for the Titans didn't get on the scoreboard. Second one's good as well. 20-17, back to a three-point game. Himes now, he's got a nice jab step. Well, that looked like a travel.
Was a travel.
Himes gets the bucket, his second. And a traveling called. Possession back to the Titans. 4:02 to go in the second quarter. You stuck around for a lot of the second game the other night. You stay until halftime again tonight?
Yep, that's what we're doing. And we get our kids back home and get them on their way to their Thanksgiving celebrations with their families. And
a trailing official called him for double dribble, and I don't think he actually ever picked the ball up. He started to and I don't think he ever touched it, but
sometimes
you can fake out everybody, can't
yeah.
you?
Sometimes it's not necessarily what you do, but what it looks like you do.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that with the swinging arm foul, right?
Right.
When you're trying to block a shot. 9 times out of 10, if you take a big swipe at a ball, a windmill swipe, you're going to get called whether you hit anybody or not.
Exactly.
Conley faking a three from about 30 feet away. And a timeout charged to BPC. It's a 30-second timeout. Their second timeout of the half. Spartans trail by 5, 22-17. Coach Vass from Illini Bluffs is on. So how hard is it as a coach who's been coaching as long as you in these Thanksgiving tournaments? How hard is the Friday after Thanksgiving to play basketball?
Well, it's difficult. And I remind my kids every year, go have fun with your family, enjoy your family. Family is our number one rule in our program, family first. But then as a young man, if you're a serious athlete, you're a serious competitor, you got to learn that when that's done, you got to come back ready to go, and it is difficult. And again, some teams are able to do that better than others. We have really nice kids at our school. I mean, our kids they're just nice young men. They don't get in trouble. And they have great families, and that is a concern of mine at IB, maybe more so than a couple other schools I've been at. But part of our youth is learning some of that.
Gage Scott's going to pick up another foul, I think. Gage Scott picks up his second. Team's number 8. Conley's going to be shooting a one in bonus. Conley's going to be shooting a one in bonus. Carter Alleman checking back in. Is going to replace Braden Barker. 3:40 to go. And Siegfried replacing Gage Scott for the Titans. Well, the Titans blew this thing open early. BPC came back, and it's been pretty back and forth since then.
Yeah, there's a couple of crucial possessions here for the Spartans as far as need to score, keep this thing in this range going into halftime, as opposed to, if you let Titans bust a couple more threes and you don't get a couple of stops, it could get ugly. But they're right here. He hits this, it's a 3-point game, 3 minutes to go. They're going to be in pretty good shape, I think. Start counting possessions at this point. How many you're going to have the rest of the way?
He does hit them both, does Conley. And it's 22-19, as Coach said, back to that 3-point. You can keep it within one possession. It's really anybody's game all the way, right?
Yep. Well, and ever since 88 when the 3-ball came in, you can go 2.5, 3 possessions and still – I've had teams down 10 with a minute left and we come back and win because of the 3-ball. So but you need stops like they got right there.
Nolan Hurt missed the 3, the rebound by Ezra Mason. He picks up his dribble.
To me, you get to that 3-minute mark of a half, you just need to score. Whether it's 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. See, that's what you don't want. You just need to come down and chip away.
Devin Yoakum's pass goes off Dalton Huffman.
So now they just need to get another stop so they get that opportunity.
3 minutes to go here in the first half. 3 on the way by Grotehouse. Himes dumps it out to Siegfried. Now he's going to drive. His finger roll is good. Louis Siegfried.
That was good patience on the Titans' part right there.
24-19. Conley looks at the 3. And then Conley's going to pick up the foul, I think. Yeah, he did. His first, team 6th. Oh, Conley's second, excuse me, according to Jake. Osmond Perelku's replacing Jalen Conley. 2:28 remaining in the first half. 2-3 zone here, or maybe a 1-2-2 zone for BPC, or 3-2. Now, I have a hard, there's Luke Jacko's turnaround off no good, a little baby hook. Goes off Grotehouse. It's hard for me to recognize whether it's a 1-2-2 or a 3-2.
The difference is the movements of the players. If your wings go clear to the corner, you're in a 3-2, and if they don't, and then your big guy, your top guy, whether he's covering high post or he's dropping clear to the front of the rim, that's how you can tell the difference.
Well, I'll keep an eye on that then, because I've always been it's hard for me to tell. And Himes gets called for the travel. That might have been a makeup call smidge for the one that he got away with on the made basket earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think officials do that on purpose, but sometimes maybe they do. You ever feel like as a coach that happens?
I don't think it happens intentionally, but it's like Murphy's Law. Things always roll underneath.
Right
in the dead center. It happens all the time. And it's just dumb luck is what it is. But it does appear that way sometimes.
It does. You're darn right. And I'm like you. I don't think that they do it on purpose either. Perelku on a steal. Gets it to Mason. Mason's shot's blocked, and he's fouled by Grotehouse. And he fouled him hard, and Grotehouse is going to pick up his 3rd foul. And he knew he did it. I don't think he meant to hit him that hard, but he got him pretty good. 2 shots coming for Ezra Mason, as he got nailed. He's 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 1:40 to go here in the first half, and the Spartans have only lost 2 points in ground per se at this point in the quarter, and they have not scored a basket.
Free throws. Free throws win ball games, and again we were talking about free throws keeping us in it had we hit them. Same way here. They can keep this thing within reach at halftime, maybe even tie it up or go in the lead in halftime. They make those free throws, because that's apparently where they're going to be scoring from. Not to mention you get your opponent in trouble. I always tell the guys they can't beat you.
Jump ball, possession to West Hancock.
They can't beat you if they're sitting on the bench foul trouble.
Hey, Luke Jacko trying to call a timeout there. They didn't give it to him. As a coach, what do we got a question with the scorebook? If it was a jump ball, or if the jump ball went to West Hancock or not. I guess it does. I've kind of laxed in my scorebook duties. Used to do that and make sure I knew who the jump balls went to, but
right.
I've laxed on that. Luke Jacko on the inlet pass from Nolan Hurt had it knocked away. It's out of bounds. Possession back to West Hancock. 1:26 to go. What I was getting ready to ask you earlier was your traveling violation.
Backcourt travel actually happened first technically because he fell down.
Yeah, it did.
People want to know why is that a travel, because you have to have a pivot foot according to the rule book, and when you fall you have no pivot foot.
And he might have got a smidge of help there. But
Yeah.
Devin Yoakum on the dribble. Goes to Perelku. 1:10 remaining. Yoakum for three. It's good.
Good look right there, and there you go. That's what I was talking about.
I said Devin. Devin's his older brother. 23. Now Himes tries to answer, and he does.
Yeah. Well, if they'd had that stop and come down and took the lead at half, that could have been huge. But even this way, as long as they don't throw it away and get down 5 or 6 for half,
And
just on cue, they threw it away.
is that Murphy's Law, jinx, or something like that?
I don't know. That's
Caden Palm replacing Ezra Mason.
That's nearly 40 years of coaching high school boys. My coach, Terry Glasgow, used to say, you put your life and your career in the hands of 16, 17-year-olds.
Varner for three. It's off, no good.
Oh,
tipped away. Hurt got the rebound and the put back, and then Perelku is going to pick up his third foul. The basket is good, and that's a huge swing right there as Nolan Hurt gets 2 points. That's his third, team seventh.
These are the things we talked to our guys about after our game. Right there, exact same thing. It's going to be a 7-point game potentially. It could have been a 1 or even you would lead game 20 seconds ago.
And a little token pressure just to eat some of that time up, right?
Yep.
Conley down low to Alleman. Alleman hangs up in the air and gets it to fall.
Need to stop. It's their possession, too, so if they can get a double score here.
Siegfried for three. It looks good. It's not. Palm with the rebound.
Possess it. There you go.
Conley's going to take it out now. 5 seconds. Gives it to Yoakum. Turn around. And he tried to have it up. He had a little more time than they thought he had, I think. But at the halfway point, it's 30-25. BPC trails the West Hancock Titans by 5 here at the halfway point. Coach Vass, I appreciate you coming. Are you going to miss one of the days, Friday or Saturday?
So I'm going to be here Friday, Saturday. We have the arrangements for my sister's funeral over in Burlington, Iowa. That's 2 o'clock, so I will miss both games on Saturday. But my capable assistant coaches, Trey David and Joe Waters, will handle it. And Trey David plans on coming up and visiting with you after the first game, and then hopefully after the last game, because we play the finale against BPC, hopefully he'll have a good reason to visit with you then too.
Okay, well, we'd love to have him. Again, condolences to you and your family.
Appreciate it.
I greatly appreciate you coming up and talking to us, and I guess we'll talk to you again Friday.
Yes.
After the game, and 3 games. Before I let you go, since we're at halftime, I'm going to Macomb plays a girls tournament where they have the same number of teams. They do 3 games Monday, 3 games Wednesday, 3 games Friday, and then they play 6 games on Saturday. Takes away a night. Yeah. Do you like this, having a night off and being able to watch other teams, or which way do you like it?
I want to play. The other evening we got talking about that, you and I, and this time of year we're tired of practicing. We personally cannot practice against what we saw tonight, what we saw Monday night. We can't simulate that in practice at our school. So we need to play games. And I said that the other day. And, again, I don't want anybody to think, sour grapes, because I've been kind of barking here a little bit after this game. I'm a competitor, and I'm going to bark. But the bottom line is, I said the other night, and I hope your listeners remember me saying this, win or lose, you want to come over here and you want to play 5 games. You want to learn your team, learn what you got to do, try and improve on things until you get out into the regular season with your conference games, and then going into the bigger tournaments like Macomb, and then eventually, of course, your regional, your postseason. So I like to play. I would rather play every night or every other night. Like we drew last year, we drew like some of these teams. We played a couple nights in a row. This year, I thought we got a good draw where we played Monday off Tuesday, played Wednesday off Thursday, played Friday. That's fine with me. And the double on Saturday, as long as they're spaced out a little bit, doesn't bother me a bit, because, again, I'm old school. Back in the day when you went to state, if you were fortunate to play that last day, you had to play too. So I'm okay with that.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you stopping by and talking to us. Good luck the rest of the way. I guess we'll see you Friday. Have as good a Thanksgiving as you can have, and eat some pumpkin pie and maybe some sweet potatoes or something for me, would you?
We will do that. We're Bartlow Brothers corntop hams.
Oh, nice.
We serve at our house along with the turkey. So,
eat some of that for me too.
Oh yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks, sir. Coach Vass talking to us on the post-game show, or on the here for most of the first half of this BPC and West Hancock game. And I'll tell you what, Coach Vass giving us some info down the stretch that was nice to see and nice to hear. Help us identify the 3-2 over the 2-3 a little bit, and also help us understand a little bit more about the way things work from a coaching perspective. Thanks, Coach Vass. We'll take a break here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, and be back in just a couple minutes with some halftime stats.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there is limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I thought about the staff of MDH. They're all good. And you will get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today, and make your voice heard.
I chose the MDH OBGYN group because I've heard wonderful things about Dr. Smith. And upon entering the office, I really got along with everybody and got a warm feeling. The staff is warm and inviting and welcoming. It's a small community, so it's a really nice hospital to have here in the rural area. I continue to choose MDH because of the relationships I have. I really enjoy everybody here.
A lot of people don't realize that you don't have to live with the dizziness day to day, especially concussions as well, that we can treat those things here. Same with pain. You don't have to live with the pain that you're experiencing. We have the ability to help you.
Welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School, halfway through the halftime, and the Titans lead the Spartans 30-25, and not the closest game we've had score-wise at the half, but it is the most competitive game throughout thus far, as the Titans actually opened up to an 8-0 lead. I think they led 10-2, and then the Spartans closed things back. It was a 3-point game most of the way. Spartans actually had it down to 1 point just before the half, and then a couple baskets to end the half, and a old-fashioned three-point play by Nolan Hurt allowed the Titans to open up a 5-point lead, 30-25 at the half. Leading scorers, nobody on either team has 10 points. The game high scorer currently is 7 points, one on each team. Alec Himes has 7 points with a late three in the first quarter for the Titans. 6 points for Gage Scott, 5 points for Nolan Hurt on the strength of that old-fashioned three-point play. 5 points for Brian Gerhart. 3 points for Gavin Grodehouse. Gavin Grodehouse has 3 fouls. And 4 points for Louis Siegfried. For the Spartans, team high 7 points for Jalen Conley. 3 points for Dalton Yoakum on a 3 late in the first half. 3 points for Ezra Mason, all from the free throw line. He's 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. Osman Perelku has 2 points. He's 2 of 3 from the free throw line. And Dalton Huffman has 6 points. He's 2 of 2 from the free throw line. The Spartans improved from the free throw line here in the first half of this game tonight. They're 9 of 12 from the charity stripe. And West Hancock has they've shot 1 free throw, and that was very late in the first half on the old-fashioned three-point play attempt. So as we're at the 2-minute mark, essentially, of a halftime here, and it's 30-25 to 25. West Hancock with the lead. We'll get ready to go with the third quarter in just a few minutes. We'll take a break. You're watching TSSR Game Time live coverage of the Spartan Tip-Off Classic. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
At Western Illinois University, Leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a Leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
And welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School. Second half action just about underway as the two teams are both out on the floor. And we talked about after we saw all the teams the first time, we kind of thought that West Hancock and Macomb was maybe not the way that game would go 2 times in a row, but we thought that it would be a pretty good tournament, especially with the top 4 or 5 teams. And Illini West, the only team 0-2 right now is the West Prairie Cyclones. So they, in all honesty, are probably the worst team here. And outside of that, I think that on a given night, most of these teams could play with the other one. And it should make for an exciting tournament down the stretch. Should make for some great basketball on Saturday as BPC opens the third quarter with the ball. As we are underway here, third quarter action from Bushnell-Prairie City High School. Ezra Mason tries to get it to Alleman. Gerhardt steals it away on a bad pass, and 2 points for Gerhardt as he opens the second half with the bucket for the Titans. Conley with it now, picked up by Gerhardt. He's going to drive, has it tipped away, goes down with it. Alleman and Jacko fight over it. Jacko comes up with it. Siegfried to Himes, down to Gerhardt, and he'll get another easy bucket. Gerhardt's got 4 in the quarter already. And we very well could be at the largest lead of the game, just like that, 34-25, a 9-point lead. It's going to go out of bounds, possession to BPC. Gage Scott trying to draw the charge on Conley, no such luck. Goes out of bounds, possession to BPC. Ezra Mason on the dribble. He's going to drive, goes to the rack, fouls on the floor. The basket went in, but it's not any good. It's a foul on the floor, charged to West Hancock. It's going to be on Gage Scott. That's his third. Some foul trouble for both teams, really. Into Braden Barker. Alleman now to Conley. 3 on the way by Conley is good. And away from the basket, or the basket is good. After the shot, foul on number 10, Gerhardt. Gerhardt picks up the foul. And BPC, a double possession here essentially after the foul by Gerhardt. He takes a seat. No, Gage Scott takes a seat, excuse me. Gerhardt has the foul. It's his second. Scratch at his third. Barker to Alleman, out to Conley. 6:40 remaining. Conley's runner's off, no good. Jacko with the rebound. He gets it out to Siegfried. Siegfried down to Hurt. Nolan Hurt up to Jacko. Left side to Himes. Down the corner, Gearhart for three. It's off, no good. Siegfried with the rebound. Nolan Hurt's going to pump fake, drives, dumps it out Siegfried. Siegfried now. Himes top of the key for three. It's short. Another rebound, Gearhart this time. And he backs it out. Comes up top to Siegfried. 6:10 remaining. 6:10 remaining. Down in the corner to Gearhart. Two on the way by Himes. No good. Goes to Conley. Conley picked up by Gearhart. Pick and roll. Alleman puts the shot up and gets it to fall. Jalen Conley gets the assist. Traveling charge to Illini West, or correction, West Hancock. Barker can't get the shot to fall. Jacko with the rebound. Gearhart to the basket. His shot's blocked by Conley. Jacko and Barker fighting for it. Jump ball, possession to West Hancock. 5:08 to go in the third quarter, and it's a 4-point game. It was 9 just a little bit ago. The Spartans have clawed back into it a little bit here. It was 5 points to open the quarter, or 4 points to open the quarter for the Titans, and then 5 in response by BPC. Jacko has it taken away by Barker, and Barker throws it away out of bounds as Dalton Huffman's going to come in for Barker. Dalton Huffman coming in. Braden Barker takes a seat. Gearhart all the way down court to Siegfried. Siegfried to Nolan Hurt. Louis Siegfried back now. Himes, corner Gearhart. Down low Jacko, out to Gearhart. Three, left corner, off, no good. Rebound going to be saved off of Hurt. Or Hurt saved it off of Huffman, out of bounds. Possession will stay with West Hancock. 4:50 remaining. Here in the Gearhart was trying to figure out where he had to be. Clear down in the corner. That's about the worst spot to try to inbound a ball. Siegfried now. Down in the corner it goes to Gearhart. Gearhart back to Himes. Siegfried. Hurt. Siegfried. Hurt. Looked at the three, didn't take it. Comes to Jacko. Jacko now. Using some time here is West Hand. Corner, Hurt. Good defense by the Spartans. Spin move by Siegfried. Corner. What are they going to call? Siegfried is going to get called for the foul. Team third, his first. Gavin Grotehouse replacing Siegfried. Grotehouse comes in with 3 fouls. Dalton Yoakum. Gearhart tried to flop and draw a charge. Didn't get it. Osman Perelku for 3. It's off, no good. Jacko is going to be fouled by Huffman. Dalton Huffman picks up his first foul. Team's first of the second half. 4 minutes remaining here in quarter number 3. Nolan Hurt. This is a 1-2-2. 3 on the way. And Perelku's pass taken away by Grothaus. He steals it back. Goes to Mason. Mason's going to drive the rack. His shot's off, no good. Tipped out. Perelku's going to try and track it down. It's going to be saved in. Gerhardt gets it from Himes. Now to Grothaus. Grothaus can't finish. Helter-skelter basketball, and then Yoakum. What are they going to call? A jump ball? Yoakum just ran over Himes. Like literally ran him over, and Coach Dahl is losing his mind over there, and understandably so. 3:11 remaining. It's still a 4-point game, 34-30. If he'd have had a tire, a suit coat would have been thrown right there, folks. And Gerhardt is going to pick up his 4th. Well, they've got his 3rd, Jake said. So we'll wait and see if I'm right or wrong there. I had him as 4. I might have gave somebody one earlier that was wrong, apparently. .301 remaining as they work to clean up a little bit of sweat off the floor. Quarter number 3. This has been a rock'em sock'em kind of third quarter here. Dalton Strode in the game to inbound. And Gerhardt, 4th personal, team 5th. He'll take a seat. Nice cut, Dalton Huffman. Dalton Yoakum gets the assist, and the Spartans have cut it to 2. Jacko's shot's off, no good. Jump ball on the rebound attempt. I think that jump ball should be BPC, or should be West Hancock, I thought, but. Dalton Yoakum with it. 3 on the way, Dalton Strode. It's way off the mark. Back the other way it goes. Nolan Hurt can't hold on to it, out of bounds. Possession of BPC. Ezra Mason to Dalton Huffman. He falls and loses it out of bounds. He tripped that time. He didn't get any help. It was just a unfortunate loss of balance for Huffman. Number 22, Parker Quillen. Nope, number 32, excuse me, Nolan Gooding checking in. Nolan Hurt skips it across to Gage Scott. And Gooding called for a 3-second violation. Spartans with another chance to tie or take the lead here. Caden Palm going to check in, replacing Devin Yoakum, or Dalton Yoakum, excuse me. I've said that so many times. I apologize, Dalton. Louis Siegfried replaces Gage Scott. Conley. Strode couldn't get there. Conley overthrew it. And Coach Snyder on the far side just looking up at the stars, or would-be stars if we were outside. So many opportunities here. This has been a night of missed opportunities. The Tigers had some opportunities against the Bombers, couldn't pull through. The Spartans have had all kinds of opportunities here. Now Dalton Strode going to have it knocked away. And Strode's going to pick up the foul, I think. It is Dalton Strode, his first, team second. As we're still going here, and it's 1:03 to go here in the third quarter. Dalton Huffman with the steal. Gives it to Palm, now to Strode, who gives it to Conley. 51 seconds remaining. Another attempt for the Spartans to tie or take a lead. Conley. And a 5. BPC takes the timeout. See if it's going to be a full or a 30. It's a full timeout charge to BPC. They'll have 2 timeouts remaining, will the Spartans, as Coach not happy with Jalen Conley's ball handling skills out top. This game being brought to you by Barkley Bills Company, a hat brand built on 2 staples, comfort and style, specializing in snapback trucker-style caps. Check out the selection or consider customs to build your business at barkleybillsco.com. Don't let the hat rack fool you. There's always room for one more barkleybillsco.com hat. As the Spartans and the West Hancock Titans putting a good one together here. As it is 41.7 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. It's 34-32. Game being brought to you by Raritan State Bank. Bushnell branch, located at 360 South Green Street in Bushnell, offers full-service banking and loan services for all your banking needs. Come visit a bank-friendly service or call them at 309-772-2345. Good luck, Spartans. Bushnell Banking Center, an equal housing lender, member FDIC. And Heil Enterprises and Heil Trucking, they can take your product down the road near or far and also offer top-notch heavy-duty truck and trailer repair. Conley throws it up, and a jump ball is going to be called, possession to West Hancock. The second-generation business continues to grow and continues to support BPC Athletics. Stop by and see Danny, John, or Travis at Route 41 south of Prairie City, or call them at 309-775-3333. Nolan Hurt. Grodhouse for 3. An air ball. Huffman with the rebound. 20 seconds left. And West Hancock has been silent for a long time here. Conley dribbles himself into a corner again. Loses the ball. Grodhouse has it. Jump ball. Siegfried steps in and pushes Conley away, and Conley's going to go sit down. I believe Ezra Mason's going to come in for him. Ezra Mason checks in. Conley sits down, and Coach Martin grabs him in a hurry and tells him to take a seat. And 7.9 seconds. It was a jump ball. It'll be possession BPC. 34-32. 7.6 seconds. Mason with it. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Caden Palm, a long 3. It's off, no good. Siegfried turns around and heaves it. It's the end of 3. It's 34-32. And A game that started off so beautifully for these two teams has turned less than attractive down the stretch here. Just 7 points scored in the third quarter for BPC and 4 points for the Titans. We'll take a quick break and be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, right after this.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
Welcome back to TSSR Game Time Live's coverage of the Spartan Tip-Off Classic. And it's becoming a classic here, 34-32. It was 18-15 at the end of the first quarter. It looked like we were going to have 80 points scored. Well, not quite, 60 points scored. And the two teams combined for 11 points in the third quarter. The offensive output has went down, the defensive intensity has went up, and the tempers have started to flare a little bit here in the fourth quarter as we are underway from BPC High School. Titans have 5 fouls. BPC has just 2. Out in the corner left, Himes can't make it. An air ball. Strode comes up with it. Janet Lentini is watching. And Strode lofts one out of bounds. BPC has missed so many opportunities with the possession. These two teams have been 34-32 for 3 or 4 minutes of basketball now. And BPC's had a bunch of possessions. Siegfried, Grodhaus. Siegfried looks at the three, doesn't take it. Gage Scott with it now. He looked down to a cutting Himes. Nolan Hurt. Down low to Himes. Can't get it to fall, but I think Caden Palm, maybe they're going to give it to Alleman. They're going to give it to Alleman. The foul, his first. Team's third. Alec Himes shooting 2. First one's off, no good. Everything that was so good about this game in the first quarter has turned not so good here. And he missed them both. And a pile of bodies on the floor. And West Hancock gets it back. Gage Scott will try a 3. It's off, no good. Ball's tipped around. Hurt comes down with it into the corner to Himes. Up top to Siegfried. Left side to Scott. Scott's going to drive this time. Boy, he got tripped and thrown down. And then bodies is flying all over the place. Ezra Mason comes out with it. Palm down to Huffman. Huffman turns around and we're tied. Dalton Huffman, 2 points. And the score is tied at 34-34. Down low to Himes. Stolen away by Alleman. Palm has it now under the 6-minute mark. Mason does the splits, and a timeout's going to be called. It's a 30-second timeout. That'll be the 4th timeout, 1 remaining for BPC. Still 5 timeouts. 4 timeouts, excuse me, for West Hancock. This game being brought to you by Rosie's Pizza. Rosie's Pizza offers something for everyone with pasta, sandwiches, and, of course, pizza. Dine in or carry out at 458 East Main Street in Bushnell. They deliver to Good Hope, Adair, and all points in between. For delivery, call 309-772-2101. And McDonough District Hospital Athletic Trainers and MDH Rehabilitation Center, with locations in Bushnell and Macomb, provide expert help to Spartan student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of all athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital, more than hospital care, a hospital caring. And M&B Furniture, Bushnell's only furniture store. M&B Furniture is a mainstay in the community and offers free delivery within 40 miles for everything you need to furnish your new home or replenish an old one. Stop in and see the fine folks at 41 South Main Street. On the steal by Gage Scott. Hurt, now to Siegfried, wraps it around to Himes. Huffman goes down and knocks it away. Alleman comes up with it. 41 West Main Street, that's M&B Furniture. Find them on the web at www.mnbfurnitureinc.com. And another steal, Hurt comes up with it. He goes across to Gage Scott, and the Titans retake the lead. (36-34). Gage Scott gets his first points since the first quarter. And Carter Alleman ties it back up again. Corner shot, Grotehouse for three. It's off, no good, I think. And Caden Palm comes down with it. The Bombers with a chance to take the Spartans with a chance to take the lead, 4:45 remaining. Down to Huffman. Huffman goes to the basket. Pull-up jumper. It's in and good. Dalton Huffman gives the Spartans the lead at 38-36. Himes has it stolen away. BPC with 4:20 remaining, the lead and the basketball. Alleman on the dribble, has it knocked away by Himes, comes back to get it. It's knocked away again. Grotehouse now is going to tie it up with the layup. No, he's not. He missed it. And Grotehouse is going to get the fifth foul. I think that'll be his fifth. It is on Grotehouse. It's his fourth. Team's sixth. Luke Jacko back in for the West Hancock Titans. Perelku back in for BPC. Ezra Mason with it. 4 minutes remaining across to Dalton Yoakum. Dalton Yoakum comes up top to Perelku. Perelku's going to drive now. Picks it up, gives it to Alleman. Alleman looking down to Yoakum. He's got it. Pump fake. Now he goes to the rack. Turnaround jumper by Yoakum off the front of the rim. No good. And Gage Scott blocks Dalton Huffman away from the ball. And it goes out of bounds. Possession to the Titans. Gerhardt back in the ball game. Three on the way by Gage Scott. And he retakes the lead for the and a travel called. As we're trying to get the scoreboard to update here, folks, I apologize. There we go. 39-38 Titans with 3:05 remaining. Luke Jacko can't hold on to the basketball on a rocket pass. Mason now is going to drive, and he's going to lower the shoulder and get called for the charge. Ezra Mason picks up his second, team foul number 4. Gerhardt brings it up the floor, gives it to Hurt. A 1-point lead for the Titans. Gage Scott for another three. It's off, no good. Perelku fighting for it. Huffman comes down with it. And Gage Scott picks up the foul. Team 7th. Dalton Huffman's going to be shooting a 1 in bonus here. Jalen Conley checking back in, replacing Ezra Mason. Dalton Yoakum going over to talk to Coach Snyder. 2:40 remaining, 2:42 to be exact. A 1 in bonus for Dalton Huffman. First one is good. He'll get the bonus. We're tied at 39. Second one is off, no good. We remain tied. Gage Scott with the rebound. 2:38 remaining. Timeout charged to West Hancock. Luke Jacko says, come on, coach, you're killing me. But it's a timeout nonetheless. 2:33 remaining. It's a full timeout, and we're knotted at 39 apiece. The Titans and the Spartans maybe putting together an instant classic here. This game being brought to you by Sports Corner at 124. Macomb's original local sports bar is Sports Corner at 124 with a focus on local sports. Catch WIU games and all the area TSSR Game Time live broadcasts at Sports Corner at 124. All while enjoying your favorite cold drink and some of the best food in West Central Illinois. Stop in and say hi at 124 North Randolph Street in Macomb. 2:33 remaining. And this one is turned into a rather good basketball game. Both teams have already scored more points in this quarter than they did in their previous quarter. The Spartans took the lead. They tied it on a shot by Dalton Huffman. Then they lost the lead on a shot by Gage Scott. They tied it again on a shot by Carter Alleman. They took the lead on a shot by Dalton Huffman. Then they lost the lead on a three by Gage Scott. And then they tied it on a free throw by Dalton Huffman. So that's how we got to 39-39. Nolan Hurt with 2:25 remaining. This is going to be a long last 2 minutes, I would imagine. Luke Jacko with it down low, and he finishes. Luke Jacko gets the points. And he retakes the lead for the Dalton Huffman to Yoakum. Baseline jumper, good. Dalton Yoakum. Gerhardt. Gerhardt, 1:37 remaining. Down in the corner to Grodehouse. Back up to Hurt. He'll pump the three. Baseline or free throw line jumper. Pull up, off, no good. Jacko with the rebound. Gerhardt for three, top of the key. It's in and out, and it bounces off the backboard and goes in. A three-pointer for Brian Gerhardt. Now back the other way, and Conley's going to draw the foul. Luke Jacko picks up his first, team's 8th. 2 coming here for Jalen Conley. He's got a team-high 10 points, or had a team-high 10 points coming into the fourth quarter. First one's off, no good. 1:17 to go. The scoreboard didn't catch the other two. Ezra Mason checks in, replacing Dalton Huffman. It's a 3-point game, a chance to make it a 2-point game if Conley can hit the second one here. He missed the first. Second one is good. 44-42. West Hancock with the lead, and the Spartans have some fouls to give here. Unofficially, they've only got 4, so they need to start fouling now, I would imagine. We'll see if they start. And a timeout on the floor charged to West Hancock. It's a 30-second timeout. They'll have 2 timeouts remaining. BPC just 1 timeout remaining. 1:04 left here in the fourth quarter. The Spartans and the West Hancock Titans in a good battle. 44-42 if we get the scoreboard to update. As we are down to 2 timeouts for West Hancock, 1 for BPC. BPC is in the bonus. West Hancock is not. BPC has 2 fouls to give before they get the Titans to the free throw line. So they can be pretty physical here with 1:04 remaining, trying to get a steal to see if they can get away with something because they've got the fouls to give. Perelku guarding on the inbounds. Himes. Gerhardt. Need to be up pressuring the ball here. I don't know why we're not fouling. They got fouls to give. You got to get up there and foul. Perelku's got 4. He can't foul. Somebody's got a foul. They're letting way too much time run off the clock. Down low it goes to Jacko, out in the corner to Gage Scott, and they're going to call Yoakum for a foul. His second, team 5. Coach Schneider says we got a foul means we got a foul. Over on the far side. 34.2 seconds left. That's just the 5th, and they need another foul to even get him. As soon as it comes in, they need a foul right now. It's like BPC is struggling to foul. Dalton Yoakum finally gets another one. Ezra Mason had a chance to foul and just didn't take it. 27 seconds remaining. The next foul will put West Hancock at the free throw line. They are now in the bonus. All the way down court, very smart. Himes going to run it across. Conley gets the steal. BPC a chance to tie. He does. Jalen Conley ties it for BPC. Timeout West Hancock with 11.1 seconds remaining. It's a full timeout. Both teams will have 1 left, and we're knotted at 44. Jalen Conley running and jumping, getting the steal and making the layup. And it is all tied up with 11.1 seconds to go. We'll take a break here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I thought about the staff of MDH. They're all good. You get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
Welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School, night number 3, game number 2, and it's the best one we've had so far. It's 44-44, 11.1 seconds to go. You're watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. And the Spartans just tied it with a Jalen Conley steal and layup. And now the Titans just took their 4th timeout. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining. Both teams are now in the bonus. Himes to inbound. 10 seconds. 9 seconds. Gerhardt's going to get a good look. No, he's going to jump it out to Grotehouse. Up top, Himes for 3. It's good. No, it's off. Tipped around. Perelku comes down with it, and we're going to overtime. Boy, that looked good from Himes. That looked good from Himes. Holy smokes. I thought it was good. A 4-minute overtime session is coming. Both teams will get a full timeout in the overtime session. That means both teams will get 2 the rest of the way now. I believe Jalen Conley checking in for BPC. If you're just joining us, the game was tied 4 times in the fourth quarter, and BPC has led once in the game. The West Hancock Titans have either retaken the lead or broken a tie on 4 different occasions. BPC, last tie came from Jalen Conley with about 13 seconds left, and ultimately that sent it to overtime. It's 44-44, and we are in overtime session number 1. You know, all the time I've been doing this, that's the first time I put the OT1 up on the scoreboard, I think. I don't remember me getting to broadcast an overtime game in basketball since we've been doing TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. I could be wrong. But, man, this is going to be one to remember. These two teams going at it in a big way. Luke Jacko and Dalton Yoakum shake hands and get ready to go here as Dalton Yoakum and Luke Jacko will jump it up. The only other time you'll have a second jump ball in high school basketball is at the overtime. And here we go. It's going to be tipped by Jacko, picked up by Scott. Himes will have it. Overtime number 1. Grodehouse for 3. It's off, no good. Braden Barker, who's back in the game, tips it around. Dalton Yoakum comes down with it. BPC gives it to Alleman. Now he gives it to Mason. 3:45. Conley going to take the 3. It's short. Gage with a long rebound. Gage Scott, that is. Gerhardt. Himes, drive, right elbow. Skips it across. Gage Scott for 3. He's hit 3 of them. Can't hit that one. Gerhardt's going to run it down, though. 3:25 remaining in overtime. Grodehouse going to drive. Dump it in the corner. Gage Scott's going to try it again. That one's short. Dalton Yoakum with the rebound. He's going to give it to Ezra Mason. 3:10 remaining. Jalen Conley now is going to bring it across half court. He gets it across finally. Picks up his dribble. Comes to Ezra Mason left side. 3 minutes remaining. Mason's going to put the shot up. It's off, no good. Jacko with the rebound. Himes goes back the other way. A 4-on-2. Down in the corner. Grodehouse for 3. It's off, no good. Gage Scott picks up the rebound. Ezra Mason slow to get up off the floor. Gerhardt for 3. He nails it. Brian Gerhardt hits the 3. And it's 47-44. Titans with a 3-point lead. Jalen Conley now picks up his dribble. Gives it to Alleman. 2:28 remaining. Alleman a long 2. It's off, no good. Rebound to Gage Scott. Luke Jacko now to Himes. And a chance to make it a 2-possession game. Grodehouse looks at the 3, drives. Dumps out Luke Jacko for 3. He nailed it. And a timeout charge to BPC. (50-44). 2 straight possessions with 3s. 1 to take the lead for Brian Gerhardt. A 3 from Luke Jacko. That's just 5 points for Jacko. He had 16 in a Game 1 win against Macomb. 2:12 remaining in overtime. BPC trails by 6. 50-44. It's been all West Hancock in the overtime. BPC had a look at a 3 from Conley. It came up short. Ezra Mason missed a runner. There was a lot of contact, but some of it was with his own player. And BPC is yet to score in the extra session. And West Hancock has just shot 3 free throws this entire game. They probably will shoot some more down the stretch here. Osmond Perelko and Dalton Huffman checking in for BPC. 1 for 3 from the charity stripe. And Alleman's going to inbound to Conley. 2:10 remaining. Perelko with it. Mason. And a foul is going to be called on West Hancock. Mason will be the shooter. Gage Scott picks up the foul. His 4th. Team 9th. That is his 5th foul on Gage Scott. He'll foul out. Team 9th. Gage Scott fouls out. Siegfried checks back in. Ezra Mason at the free throw line, shooting the 1 and bonus. Big free throws here for BPC, trailing by 6 with 1:53 to go in overtime. First free throw is off the rim, no good. Jacko with the rebound. Siegfried will bring it up now with 1:48 remaining. Conley with another steal. Conley hesitates, puts a shot up and in. Jalen Conley gets 2 more. And BPC back within 4. 50-46. Gerhardt with it. Up top to Siegfried. Grodhaus. Down to Jacko, rolling around and falling in. Luke Jacko coming up huge for the Titans down the stretch. Dalton Huffman picks up the foul. Nolan Hurt checks back in. Dalton Huffman picks up his 2nd, team foul number 7 for the Spartans. It's 52-46. And a free throw's good for the senior, Luke Jacko. Dalton Huffman with it. Out to Perelku. Got a score here, and he loses it. Jacko comes up with the steal. Himes with it, 107. A 7-point lead for the Titans. Across to Gerhardt. Doesn't need a 3, but he's going to take it. He missed it. Perelku with the rebound. Played into BPC's hands there by taking that shot. He did not need to take a shot. It was wide open, I grant you, but didn't need to take it. Conley with it, 45 seconds remaining. Conley for 3. It's off, no good. Jacko gets the rebound. And a foul by Ezra Mason. It'll be his 3rd. Team foul number 8 for BPC. Nolan Hurt is going to go down shooting the 1 and bonus for the Conley and Huffman take a seat. Caden Palm and Dalton Strode come in. 53-46. Free throws off, no good. Rebound to Grodhaus, and he's going to be fouled by Perelku, I believe. Nope, it's going to be on Ezra Mason, his 4th, team's 9th. Gavin Grodhaus shooting a 1 and bonus now for the. He misses it as well. Alleman, stop, pops the 3. It's short. Strode with the rebound. He puts it up. It's long. Rebound to Nolan Hurt with 20 seconds remaining. Himes outlets it to Jacko, and they're going to call Mason, and he'll foul out. Double bonus coming for Nolan Hurt. Dalton Yoakum to replace Ezra Mason. Nolan Hurt with 18 seconds remaining. Going to have double bonus for the Titans. 53-46, Titans with the lead. Nolan Hurt misses the first. Second one coming here on the double bonus. Makes the second. Whoa, Perelku trying to get it to Dalton Strode, throws it away. 10.9 seconds left. It's a 9-point game, and that will, for all intensive purposes, do it. It'll be Himes to inbound. They do have to get it across half court. Strode tries to steal it. Palm comes up with it, and Grodehouse is going to get called for the foul. And Grodehouse, it's his 5th in my book. Double bonus coming for, that's the 10th foul. Sorry, folks, the turns off every time we update a quarter. Caden Palm at the free throw line misses the first. .3 seconds remaining. Second one's off, no good as well, and a rebound by Himes, and that'll do it. 54-46.
Unofficially, the game's 6 leading scorers for Bushnell-Prairie City.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back with some stats and coaches' interviews, hopefully, in just a few minutes. You've been watching TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
After my appointment that day, I just made up my mind that I'm going to have my baby here in Macomb and this hospital, because irrespective of where you're from, who you are, it's just their line of duty to make sure they give care, make you comfortable.
I thought about the staff of MDH, they're all good. And you will get all the support you need. This is just the best place for you and your family.
MTC Communications is building a high-speed fiber network in our community, and we're putting priority on the areas with the greatest interest. That means we need your input to let us know you want us to build fiber in your area first. Experience the speed and convenience of fiber internet by visiting our special website and registering. Let us know you want fiber internet today, and make your voice heard.
I chose MDH. We moved here and I was researching different places that would allow me to VBAC, have a vaginal birth after C-section, and the doctors here do encourage that, and so I chose that after looking online, and I wouldn't want to deliver anywhere else because they all go above and beyond, and they're so kind and actually care about you.
At Western Illinois University, leathernecks don't just blend in. Our purple stands out. Our students are innovative, creative, and resilient. At WIU, there's limitless potential, with campuses in Macomb, the Quad Cities, and online. Visit wiu.edu/potential to become a leatherneck and get an education that stands out.
Welcome back to Bushnell-Prairie City High School. We're going to hopefully have a conversation with Coach Dahl and with Coach Schneider before we head out here. Looking at some stats, and these are unofficial. I didn't add them up to see if they were even absolutely correct, but my quick addition tells me they are, but I could be off a point or two. A game-high 15 for Brian Gerhardt, including the go-ahead shot in the overtime session. 11 points for Gage Scott and 8 points for Luke Jacko. Jacko's points all came fourth quarter on tonight. 7 points for Alec Himes, 4 points for Louis Siegfried, 6 points for Nolan Hurt. The Titans were just 3 of 8 from the free throw line. For BPC, a game-high 15 for Jalen Conley, 13 for Dalton Huffman, 8 for Carter Alleman, 5 for Dalton Yoakum, 3 for Ezra Mason, 2 for Osman Perelku. The Spartans finished 11 of 19 from the free throw line, if my math is correct. And I believe that it is. Huffman was 3 of 4. Perelku was 2 of 3. Jalen Conley, 3 of 5. Ezra Mason, 3 of 5. And Caden Palm, 0 of 2. Those two came late in overtime with 1.3 seconds left, I do believe, down the stretch. Again, 2 players fouled out for West Hancock. Gage Scott and Gavin Grodhouse both fouled out for the West Hancock Titans. Ezra Mason fouled out for BPC. All 4 of his fouls came fourth quarter on, as he was about the only player that seemed to grasp the concept of fouling down the stretch. BPC had fouls to give, but a great steal and layup by Jalen Conley forced this thing into overtime. But a couple threes early from the hand of Brian Gerhardt, and then one by Luke Jacko. And the West Hancock Titans secure a 2-0 start to the Spartan Tip-Off Classic. The Spartans fall to 1-1. So there's one 2-0 team, there's one 0-2 team, and everybody else in the tournament is 1-1. With Macomb beating Illini Bluffs, Illini West beating West Prairie last night, everybody's 1-1 except for the 2-0 West Hancock Titans and the 0-2 West Prairie Cyclones. Again, we're waiting on Coach Snyder and Coach Dahl. Hopefully, Coach Snyder's going to head this way first, it looks like. He's starting to pick stuff up, and we'll see if we can get a conversation from both these coaches. We'll take another break, and we'll be back on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH, in just a couple moments.
I chose the MDH OBGYN group because I've heard wonderful things about Dr. Smith. And upon entering the office, I really got along with everybody and got a warm feeling. The staff is warm and inviting and welcoming. It's a small community, so it's a really nice hospital to have here in the rural area. I continue to choose MDH because of the relationships I have. I really enjoy everybody here.
All right, welcome back to BPC High School Spartan Tip-Off Classic night number 3, game number 2, and it's the best one. Well, maybe not for the guy that's sitting beside me now, but it's the best game of the tournament so far. Most fun to watch, most fun to call. Too bad BPC couldn't have got a win. Coach Snyder joining us now. And, Coach, I mean, I don't know what I want to say. I know everything wasn't perfect. You guys had a lot of missed opportunities, and I know that's what you're going to look at coaching-wise and say, hey, we have to, not miss those opportunities. But the grit and the stick-to-itiveness of this team to come back when they had mistakes that could have taken teams that you've coached in the past, the kids, maybe the mental stuff would have went away at that point. They stuck with it, and they got the tie and had a chance to win it.
Yeah, I told them in the locker room just, before I came out here, I said I couldn't be more proud of you guys. You guys didn't quit, and it's a great game to play in. It's a terrible game to coach in because it's back and forth, especially late in the game, and something maybe I call hurts us, and and as a coach, you don't want that to happen, but I'm hoping. I'm just proud of our guys the way we played tonight. We just didn't give up.
Well, it's kind of funny. We need to foul means we need to foul. I heard you say at one point.
I'm a little too loud today.
It's not funny, but it is funny. That's not a position you find yourself in a lot. And the kids just, as it turned out, it didn't really hurt you. But the kids missed a lot of opportunities to foul, and when you guys had still 2 or 3 fouls to give there when you needed to start fouling.
Yeah, that's the thing when you know the situation again, that only being able to have 2 weeks of practice, you can't hit every situation in practice, and when you can't hit game-ending situations, you can't, because otherwise you're missing more important things as far as like running an offensive set or rotation.
Is that more important than knowing how to foul at the end of the game?
Yeah, I would think so. But like I said, I'm proud of the way we competed tonight. We got after it, and that's something that one of their assistant coaches told me after the game. So, like I said, I couldn't be more proud of our guys.
When I talked to you and Dalton at Sports Corner at 124 during our TSSR weekly broadcast, you seemed excited about this team. Like you thought that this team was different. You thought that they could do some things. I think you've proven that. Even though you didn't get a win tonight, I think you've proven that this team is going to be a tough out for whoever you play.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many guys I played tonight. It might only been like 7 or 8, but I could seriously go maybe, I don't know. I had 11 guys score on Monday, and tonight I think I only played 8. So I'm not sure. Oh, that's the wrong team.
Oh yeah, sorry.
He's up here. He can't even look. So.
7 players. Well, 6 scored, and then 1 missed 2 free throws.
Yeah. So, but we got to do a better job of handling some pressure. They pressured us and gave our guards some fits, so we couldn't really get into an offensive set. But no, that's like you said earlier. That's a great game and fun to watch. It got exciting, and then in overtime they kind of just outhandled us a little bit. Made some shots, and we didn't.
You and I have talked about Dalton Huffman in the past, and he doesn't look like a basketball player necessarily. He doesn't necessarily move like a basketball player, but the kid has a nose for the ball, and he figures out a way to score.
Yeah, he has a motor. He just doesn't quit, and it's fun to coach. Because you really just tell him, hey, just kind of go play. I mean, he knows everything we're supposed to do on the floor, which is great, and he's one that just has a nose for the ball.
I tell you what, I couldn't. I've watched him play now for these 2 years. I watched him play as a freshman too, in that abbreviated season, but he just impresses me every time he comes out. He comes off the bench and he quite obviously doesn't mind coming off the bench. He comes out and he just plays. Yeah, and
that's what's great because he's not one to complain. And when you have those kids on the team and everybody that they want to, hey, I'm going to do this when I get on the floor, and coach, that this is what you're going to get out of me. That's awesome.
Well, I think you got somebody wanting to say something to you. West Hancock is a good team, and I felt like you guys you didn't end up beating them, but you kind of beat them at their own game. They like to get up in your face and play good, strong defense and keep you kind of on your heels. And I kind of felt like you guys were able to do that to them tonight.
Yeah, they are very strong. They're very physical. They're, athletic at every position. Like I said earlier, they gave our guards fits. We couldn't really get the ball up the court, and you expect, the guards to kind of get us into what we need to do, and they kind of threw us at a wrinkle, and we couldn't really get going offensively until the second half. But again, it was just great that we could make that adjustment with our guards, and our guards able to get us back in the game, because without our guard play and some of the guys that we had coming off the bench, now not everybody, like I said, that got off there in the game scored, but they contributed in one way or another. So
Jalen Conley, that steal at the end of the game, it's a layup, and a varsity kid should be able to make a layup, but that's a high pressure layup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one where everybody is going to ooh and ah and try to make you miss it, and those are the ones where you're just like, oh man, I just gotta make it, or don't miss. So I'm glad he made it, and I couldn't be, again, to get the stop with 11 seconds. The kid had an open shot, and I was just I had a great view from where I was, and I just saw it was a little off, and then I looked at the clock to see if they had time to tip it in, and luckily we tipped it out. So,
yeah, I actually said it was in. It looked in. It was dead on, it looked like, from here.
Yeah, it was actually a little right, but no, it was to give him, you kind of know it's probably going to be him or number 10 shooting that last shot, and to give him a kind of a clear look kind of scared me a little bit.
Jacko didn't score a lot. He ended up with 8, and he scored 6 in the overtime. He's a kid, another one. He's almost like a Dalton Huffman. I mean, he doesn't necessarily look like a basketball player, but he shoots the ball pretty well. He rebounds. He fights all the time for every rebound.
Yeah, and on our scouting report, we said that he could shoot. So it was kind of like he's not going to miss too many open looks. We watched him play last night against Macomb, and I think he missed 1 out of 3 threes, or maybe 1 out of 4 threes. So it was just kind of, hey, we got to know that he can shoot the ball. So,
well, Coach, I was waiting for Coach Dahl to come up here. He's walking away. I don't think he's going to. He's probably less than happy with his team's performance, and he's walking to the bus, it looks like. So we're not going to get a Coach Dahl interview tonight.
All right.
I don't think so. I guess I can let you off the hook, unless he's walking. I don't know. Maybe he is thinking about walking. I don't know where
I don't know where they're going.
But I thought he was walking out of the gym, but maybe he's not. But at any rate, I can let you go. You got your kids are. It looks like the place is kind of cleaned up already.
Yep. We didn't do it Monday night. I had guys come over here.
I bet he's going to the hospitality room, hoping there's some food down there.
There's plenty. I'll tell you that. But I had our guys.
He's not going to look over here.
Had our guys clean up last night, and we got it done in like 6 or 7 minutes. So I said, I think I talked about it the other night that we'll.
Tried one last time. He walked out the gym.
I think you're right. I think he's going to the hospitality room. But just kind of help people out. Just pick up the big stuff and let's move on. These guys, maybe that helps people throw some things away, so we're not having to pick up that much. But I think we cleaned up tonight in under 5 minutes, so that's great. Yeah.
Well, proud of your kids. Sorry you didn't get the win, but a good contest, and I really think, man, this there was a whole lot of Macomb people cheering for Bushnell tonight. I'll guarantee you that.
Well, yeah, there might have been.
And a whole lot of Illini bus.
I don't think that'll happen on Friday.
No, probably not.
But no, that first game was good.
I said that really outside of West Prairie, who I think is the worst team in the tournament probably. I mean, you could be upset for saying that, but you look at the scores and you can see that. The other 5 teams are relatively well matched.
Yeah. I know completely different Macomb team from last night to tonight.
Right.
And I'm sure Coach Anderson probably had them up early this morning doing some running or something. But, again, we knew coming into this that the 5 teams, you include West Prairie because you don't know. You know that they lost a lot. You don't know what's going to happen. But each game was going to be close, and now it's just going to be, who's going to execute. So, and West Hancock executed tonight and on more possessions than what we did, so they get the win.
Well, Coach, I'll let you get out of here. Thanks for stopping and talking to us. Greatly appreciate it. I want to thank Megan Link was running the camera tonight.
Yeah, I saw her up here, and that's great that you got some help. And
she already left. I was going to give her some money for helping tonight. If you can find any kids, man, I need help.
Okay.
We need help. I've asked everybody, and we have things lined up, and then they disappear for Thanksgiving or because they decide they don't want to. Or I always thought that you could have too much help, but I don't think you can have too much help this day and age.
Right. Yeah. No. I'll see if I can on Monday, or I'm not sure if I'll see too many kids the next couple days, but on Monday I can get a hold of some class kids and see if they'll do it for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
or
pay
do
him.
it for you.
I'll pay him.
And they'll even get money.
Yeah.
All right.
A freshman or a sophomore would be fantastic.
Awesome. Perfect.
So, thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks,
We'll talk to
Dwayne.
you
Thanks
later.
for everything you guys do up here.
No problem. That's Coach Snyder talking to us on a post-game show. 54-46, the final in overtime. The Spartans fall to the Titans. We will end. Hey, wait a second. There's Coach Dahl. Let's see. I think he's ignoring me. So I tried and. So we'll call it quits. That'll do it for this broadcast. Oh, you're going to come over here? Oh, he is going to come over here now. So we'll wait for him so we can get a couple thoughts from Coach Dahl. Coach Martin walking behind us. We won't keep Coach Dahl very long, but the fans riding home might want to hear what he has to say, as his team is still cleaning up and showering up and getting ready to go home after a big win and overtime over BPC, as Coach Dahl's heading this way. You were. I watched and waved the whole time you were walking across the. Coach Snyder was talking to me then, and we said, I think he's going to the hospitality room, and I think we were right. Was there any food still out?
No, we had to dig through the kitchen.
Oh, hey, that's okay.
I'm used to that.
Hey, I made it to the hospitality room earlier,
yeah.
Just saying. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach. Boy, that game was like a tale of two, I don't know, something. So it was the first quarter, man, the offenses looked great, and then suddenly the defenses kind of took over.
Yeah, it was weird. They switched defenses, and we didn't handle it that well. We haven't practiced as much against that kind of defense as we should have probably at this point. So we have to shore that up a little bit. We got good shots. We're just out of rhythm.
Jacko didn't. Jacko, I don't know if he was out quite a bit of the game, but when you guys really needed something down the stretch, that kid just stepped up and he hit a 3 in overtime. And I mean, he just comes together, doesn't he?
He did, and he at the end of the game, he started to get his hands on balls on the rim. I said, Luke, you got to get your hands on stuff. Get the ball tipped around so we can get it when we're coming in. Just keep going after it. And he listened, and he went and did it and tipped it around, and he got that 3 and an and one in overtime. I don't know if he made the freeze or not, but he did. So he had 6 points right there of just pure, like, let's get this done, Coach.
Well, I mean, you guys played hard, it seemed like, all night. I told Coach Snyder it kind of felt like BPC, even though it wasn't man, BPC kind of did to you in those last 3 quarters kind of what you guys did to Macomb last night. They raised the intensity a little bit, kind of matched your intensity, which Macomb wasn't able to do.
Yeah, that's what we on offense, is weird. Like most teams, some of them will be really aggressive on offense and then not on defense. We were not aggressive at all on offense with the ball. I told them, there's so many times we were just holding the ball like we didn't expect them to take it. I don't know what we were thinking, but that happened a lot. And we had so many traveling calls.
Yes.
And same moves that were last night that weren't travels. And so, they are travels, a lot of them. Some I don't know, but there was a lot of travels. And the other thing we did that we probably had 20 fouls where we're running along with them, and our rule is to not bail them out by fouling, and we just reach across and try to slap it. And you feel like you're getting fouled, so you don't think they're going to call it, but reality is that instant, that time, that is a foul. Right. And it's easy when you reach across to call a foul.
Well, it's kind of like I talked to Coach Vass through a lot of the first half, and we've talked several times, and you and I have talked several times now. When you do something that looks like a foul, you're more than often going to get a foul, whether it is a foul or not, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's like when you take that big swing to block a shot. It doesn't matter if you hit anybody. If you take that big swing, you're going to get a foul call. If you're running down the floor and you reach through somebody, whether you touch them or not, it's going to be a foul call.
Exactly. And so many times we had them where we wanted them going left to the side of the court with our body in the right spot, and then we would reach and bail them out. So we had all these bailout things that made them feel comfortable. And at first they weren't feeling comfortable until we started doing that.
I told Coach Snyder also, and you guys kind of see this too, like missed opportunities. Both teams had opportunities to BPC had opportunities, a lot of opportunities to take a lead or to tie it, and you guys had opportunities to open the lead back up or blow the game open a little bit, and both of you just couldn't take any advantage of any opportunities given.
We didn't, and I kept looking like, holy buckets, is this game going to end soon? Like, it was so many plays that were just, why? But I told my guys at the end of the day, first of all, you have to hold yourself accountable because the mistakes you made were not a ref's fault, they're your fault. That's your fault. Be accountable for them so you don't make them again. And then expect to get hit when you have the ball. Like, we got to be wide. So many times our feet were together. We didn't catch it wide and strong. Like, those kind of things we just sort of let when we were wondering, what are we going to do or something, they just didn't do that.
I understand. You got a long bus or a long-ish bus ride home. So
yeah,
I'll let you get out of here.
But
some of the kids are still standing around and talking, I think. Maybe those might be Bushnell kids sitting down there now. I'm not sure.
I think so.
But congratulations. You're the only team's 2-0.
I know. It feels good. It feels good. I told him I'm glad we won, but I don't want to win like this. So,
Coach Snyder said these are the hardest games to coach.
They are because there's no flow to it. It is hard. But close games are fun.
Right.
And they're fun for you, right?
Oh, yeah. They were a ton of fun for me.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have it. I have no dog in the fight, right?
It's
easy for
me. You just want a good game.
That's right. Well, Coach, thanks for coming and talking to us, even if you did go to the hospitality room first.
Hey, next time I'll try to come here first.
Okay, I don't blame you. I'd go to the hospitality room too. All right, that'll do it for tonight from Bushnell-Prairie City High School. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye.